It's the hashtag Simply Cyber, COMMUNITY. Here to break the cycle, this is vital more than you and I. Yeah, it's exciting, it don't matter what your title is. You can grab a friend or two or three or four, invite them in. It's the Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's the live with Jerry every morning, having good time. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. It's the Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's the live with Jerry every morning, having good times. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. Dr. Auger is a OG, got that potion, the elixir, got devotion to all those who keep us showing up to witness. Fit the tricks and quips and all the tips to raise your cyber fitness. Switching up the routines, pass it off to James quicker. Keep the people smiling, hit that follow, that's a good decision. Every week, today, tomorrow, I encourage y'all to listen. We gon' teach y'all way more than how to protect yourselves from phishing. More like being confident so you can recognize the vision. On a mission, it's official, we gon' get through all these issues. Time for Jawjacking, baby, this is more than a tradition, yeah. Oh, I can't forget to recognize the mods. They the engine, they the reason that you leave and feeling charged. It's that Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's that live with Jerry every morning, having good times. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. It's that Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's that live with Jerry every morning, having good times. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. Yeah. What else can I say? I hope you find some value in this place and have yourself an awesome day. Simply Cyber's here to stay. So let's all put our hands together ready. Time to hang with Dr. A.
All right, good Friday morning, literally good Friday morning, good Friday morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. Today is April 18th. It is Friday, 2025. This is episode 859 of your Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. I am your host, Two Thumbs, all smiles, large cup of coffee, Dr. Gerald Auger. And over the next hour, me, you, Poner Joe, Rhonda Rummerfield, Jenny Housley, Chuck Sapp, Casually Joseph, potentially a DJ B-Sec sighting, Augusta Delgado, Funky Monk, and the Australian contingent, right? The Detroit crew, the Kansas City factions, the Deb and Grady's of the world. We're all going to be shredding the top cybersecurity news stories of the day. I'll be giving my expert opinion and analysis on each of those stories, on what it means to you as a practitioner. So how can you use this information to drive cyber risk reduction for your business stakeholders and ultimately, you know, basically deliver excellence in the capability of your work function. And if you're looking to break in the industry, don't think that this show's for practitioners only. We are multifaceted. We're like a Swiss Army knife of cyber news up in this piece. Pamela from Michigan coming in hot with the gifted subs. Pamela, I hope everything's well with the fam, with the kiddos, with work, with the car. Good to see you, Pamela. Thank you very much. And to the 5 people who received the gifted subs, you can use the Oprah emote to properly thank Pamela. Guys, if you're looking to break into the industry, you're going to be asked in any job interview, how do you stay current? This show right here, it is phenomenal answer because we are covering the top cyber news stories. We are giving those insights. We're showing you how to connect the dots. We're going deeper than the surface. If you're just reading the headlines, you're missing a lot of the meat of the sandwich, you know what I'm saying? So you're going to get mad value, and the networking is excellent in here. Networking is incredibly valuable. It's one of those things, honestly, that I'd be normally I'm a super passive guy, and I'm easygoing, and like I'm into, you know, inclusion and, you know, whatever. But if someone wants to say that networking doesn't add value to getting in the industry, I might be willing to fight them. Like, that's how strong I believe that networking is so valuable. And, you know, the Simply Cyber community right here, Boss Finale, David P, ZeroCom, our very own Pamela. Guys, this is networking at its finest. Look at this chat. It's like a roaring, raging feed of content, people, personalities. It's awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, listen, every single episode, we're going to cover about 8 stories. I don't research or prep for any of these.
Ain't nobody got time for
Ain't nobody got time for that. I barely got time to make a cup of coffee So what I want you to know is you're going to be getting my raw, unfiltered. I literally have no idea what the stories are. I wasn't even paying attention when I stood them up this morning. So we are going to be doing it together. It's going to be epic. But before we do the stories, and before I tell you the James McQuiggan joke of the week. James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet does dad jokes on Friday. I've got a litany of them today for you that are phenomenal. Before we do the ad reads, I do want to share one thing. Remember, we are a community. We do the news. We are a community, though, first and foremost. And we have local, kind of like local factions with local people in our own Simply Cyber community that kind of ambassador the individual areas. Just a little teaser, okay? Don't ask for the link because this is just a little teaser right now. But our very own Chris Whitlock has been working on something here where you can see where there actually are established Simply Cyber community, local community meetups. And, if you live in, I don't know, New Orleans, Mississippi Gulf Coast, you could find out, ding dong, Bracta Barebones is the POC, the ambassador for that region. If you're flying, like I'm going to San Francisco in a few weeks for RSA, maybe I would check this out to see if there's a San Francisco team community, right? There isn't, but that's okay. This is going to be super cool and make coordination so much easier. Shout out to Chris Whitlock for this addition. So get excited for that. Okay, guys, as always, I do want to say shout out and thanks to the stream sponsors, those who enable me to, basically bring this show to you. Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on today on Friday? Pamela coming out and saying, what's up? DJ BSEC in the house. DJ BSEC in mod chat. Wow. Good Friday indeed. All right, let's hear from the stream sponsors. And when I come back, I'm going to tell you how this show is going to solve your CPE problems. And I made a slight addition to the Chiron at the bottom to include that CPE. So you might want to time the screenshot. Let's go. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com. Do you want cutting-edge, high-quality cybersecurity education regardless of financial position? Check this out. I want to give some love and some praise to Antisyphon Training, powered by Black Hills Information Security. Antisyphon Training is absolutely disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry by providing high-quality, cutting-edge education to everyone regardless of financial position. They bring industry professionals with years and years of experience into the classroom to teach you and anyone else who's interested practical skills that are in demand in the market today. And on top of that, the student experience is amazing as you and hundreds or thousands in some instances of other students are actively engaging, networking, sharing tips, tricks, and experiences with each other all live in the classroom. Go to antisyphontraining.com, check out their course calendar to see what courses they have coming up next. You won't regret it. Quick shout out to Mervin Montalban, who's been a longtime listener for the last 3 years, just continuing to crush it. $50 super chat. Thank you, Mervin. Guys, I got to tell you, this is a great Friday. Somebody called the Catholic Church and let them know we're upgrading it from Good Friday to Great Friday. A lot of familiar names, a lot of old friends in chat. Not old on Gray in the Beard, except DJ BSEC, but old long-timers in chat. Love it. Guys, so great to see you. I'm so glad that you're doing well. I also want to say we did the two ad reads, but let me say a real quick shout out to, come on, my shout out to Delete Me. All right, here we go. Where are we going? Here we go. Check it out. Delete Me, if you didn't know, Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable. Listen, data brokers make a profit off your data. Your data is a commodity. Anyone on the web who can buy your private details. This can lead to identity theft, phishing attempts, and harassment. But now you do have an option. You can protect your privacy with Delete Me. As someone with an active online presence with Simply Cyber, privacy is really important to me. I worry about my children and my wife, the people who I am responsible for. I'm not laughing at my wife and children. I'm laughing at DJ BSEC. Guys, basically, I want to choose who knows like where I live, basically, right? Because other people live here and I need to protect them. So it's very important to me to take at least measures to reduce my risk exposure. Take control of your data. Keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now at a special discount for our listeners. Get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber and use promo code simplycyber at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber and enter code simplycyber at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/simplycyber with code simplycyber. All right. Also, guys, Barricade Cyber, who, if you attended the Barricade Windows Forensics File Bin webinar yesterday, let us know in chat. I heard it went off well. I couldn't attend, but I heard it was really, really good. Guys, if you're in a Microsoft 365 environment, then you should definitely listen up. With business email compromise, holy Jesus.
Become best friends. Yep.
Hold on. Subro Sengupta, 200 units. I don't know what currency symbol that is. I'm sorry. Jerry, completed a year in cyber and absolutely loving it. I've received a lot of encouragement from the CISOs, BISOs I work with. And with that, I started my prep for CISP. 4 domains in. Hell yeah. Yes, sir. In Subro, can you tell us what currency that is? I like literally haven't seen that currency before. It's cool looking though. Kind of has like a, I don't know. Kind of has like a cool D&D look to it. All right, guys, business email compromise attacks are on the rise. Your entire operation could be at risk. Barricade Cyber Solutions has introduced Fortify 365. It's your defensive shield. I'm actually thinking about talking to Eric if he has time. Eric, I gotta connect with you, dude. Oh, it's rupees. Thanks for the rupees, Subro. I'm gonna actually talk to Eric about doing this for Simply Cyber's business. Their team of experts implements proven security standards to protect your business from cyber threats, ensure compliance.
We just become best friends. Yep.
I'm trying to do an ad read here. James McQuicken with the super chat. Happy Great Friday to all. From the one with white in his beard. Happy Easter all who celebrate. Keep networking. Coffee cup. Cheers. There you go. James McQuicken, I'm right there with you. All right, let me plow through this ad read. Eric and his team can help you ensure compliance, safeguard your sensitive data, and protect your business from cyber threats. They've helped countless organizations, including mine in the past, to strengthen their M365 defenses with tailored solutions that address real-world vulns. Don't wait until after a breach to take action. Visit Fortify365.com today to learn how you can secure your M365 environment. Woo! Wow. Dude, we got a lot going on. All right, really quickly, we're about to start the show, but let me just tell you, every episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is worth half a CPE. Look at the Chiron right now. This is the Daily Cyber Threat presented by Simply Cyber, episode 859, half a CPE. Go ahead, when you're taking your screen, take a screenshot, right, of your name in chat if you can, and then the half a CPE if you can. Make it like a game, I suppose. Or take 2 screenshots, whatever. Maybe I'll find a better solution for where to put the half a CP. Essentially, ISACA needs you to put like your name, your date, the program, all the things. So take a screenshot of the show with your name up here, but also like the YouTube metadata, and that'll work for the CPE policy. Anyways, half a CPE. It adds up, 120 a year. Kayla Sturgeon did the math. Thank you, Kayla. All right, guys, do me a favor. We are off and running. Don't forget that it is Friday, which means we will be doing a panel jawjacking at the top of the hour. But at the bottom of the hour, we're going to do James McQuiggan's jokes at 35,000 feet. But now we've got to get to work. So let's let the cool sounds of the hot news.
Fascinating!
wash over us in an awesome wave. See you at the mid-roll.
From the CISO series, it's Cybersecurity Headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Friday, April 18th, 2025. I'm Steve Prentice.
I like Steve.
Bipartisan push for renewal of cyber threat information sharing law. Two senators, Gary Peters of Michigan and Mike Rounds of South Dakota, have introduced a bill, quote, designed to extend for another decade the provisions of pivotal cybersecurity legislation from 2015 that encouraged businesses to share information about ongoing cybersecurity threats with the federal government, end quote. The original law, named the Cybersecurity Information Sharing Act of 2015, expires in September of this year. It was, quote, hailed by federal agencies and cybersecurity experts as key to protecting personal information and ensuring that both the federal government and companies can take collaborative steps to prevent data breaches or attacks from cybercriminals and foreign adversaries.
Okay.
End quote.
Okay, so check it out. Yes, I'm all about this, okay? Like, it's not broke. Right? So no need to fix it. It just extend it. This is an extension. This isn't like groundbreaking new legislation. This is an extension. All this law does is set up a mechanism for people to report in, businesses to report into the U.S. government on, basically attacks they're seeing and making it so information can be shared. Now, two things. One, I do like this, right? I mean, threat intelligence sharing is how we can protect it. Like it's probably one of the best defenses we have as a collective, as a society, to help curb the successive attacks, right? So like basically we're in chat right now and Cam Godet gets hit, right? Sorry, Cam, you just got hit by Lazarus Group. Cam can be like, my house is on fire. But while I'm putting out this fire, everybody, AB, Roswell UK, Phil Stafford, W Crooks 42, this is what I see. This is how they got in. And then everybody can kind of run and button up their hatches, right? Change their locks, put masking tape on the windows, whatever. And prevent them from being the next victim. So yeah, it still sucks. Cam got hit, but we can use this information. That's what this is, right? Otherwise, everybody's just kind of in the dark with one glow stick, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, DayZ fans. So I love this. Now, I hate to be cynical, but here I go. They said that this has been pivotal in curbing threat actor action and stuff. If you want, I can pull up a histogram, a visual graphic to show cyber attacks frequency and effectiveness and cost over the last 10 years, this period of time they're talking about. And I can show you that it doesn't look like what they're saying. Like this, it almost sounds like they're pitching this thing like it's like this grand, super cloak of invisibility that we need to extend it because we have been hiding from the mainstream. Like we've basically it's like that Loki show. Like we've stepped out of the main time stream and we're operating in this like nether world. No, we've still been getting punched in the mouth. I suppose the argument might be we'd get punched in the mouth and the eye and the ear and the neck if we didn't have this in place, but I don't think so. And really quickly, if what I'm saying sounds confusing, let me break it down to you. I think this is a good idea. I think this is part of a bigger solution. This is one, kind of piece of an armor, but this alone isn't a complete solution. Okay, this is just part of a fabric of solution, and one that we need. So I'm all in on it, but don't. I think they're overselling it, senators. But it's good. Also, just as a secondary piece of information, I've been around, I've been around a long time. Like, I don't know, like if you get hit, you can contact the FBI, IC3, you can submit to that. I'm not super familiar of like what the reporting mechanism is into DHS as far as, sending telemetry and stuff like this information sharing. Usually I'm receiving information from DHS and from CISA, not delivering it. So I don't even know, like the delivery of information to them isn't really well communicated. Let me know in chat. Is anyone in chat been involved with a business in the last 10 years that has somehow submitted data to specifically DHS, not CISA or FBI, but DHS? Yeah, see, the information sharing has helped CISA in their mission. So, all right.
ClickFix becoming a favorite amongst state-sponsored hackers.
Someone call Casually Joseph.
This technique, which we have reported on before, gets users to infect their own machine by performing a series of tasks, either by being fooled by spoofed prompts into correcting a supposed Windows glitch, or completing a fake CAPTCHA verification, or simply registering their device. It has become prevalent in recent months, and Proofpoint is now stating that, quote, multiple state-sponsored hacking groups from Iran, North Korea, and Russia have been deploying it over the 3-month period from late 2024 through the beginning of 2025, end quote. This represents an escalation of sorts from simply being a tool for regular cybercrime groups.
Oh, whoa.
Go.
All right, hold on. Wow. Okay, like, give me a second. Oh, by the way, if today's your first episode, hashtag first timer in chat. If today's your first episode, hashtag first timer in chat. Just give me a moment. I just need a minute with this right here. Oh, yeah. I do have a thing for infographics. So much so that if you didn't know, like, if you, some of you already have this, but we do have a challenge coin for the community. This is the challenge coin. And on the back, it actually has a guy playing the saxophone and it says, "I appreciate you," like a good infographic. That's my level of compulsion with the infograph. So look at this one. This might be the busiest infograph. This looks like a, like a senior manager asked a junior analyst to put an infograph together and they're like, woo! And they just like got bananas up on it. Nicodemus Conde, first timer. Welcome to the party, pal. If chat could welcome Nick as a first timer. Nicodemus Conde. All right, so it starts left to right. I haven't quite figured out what is blue. So blue is kind of the caption for the icon. And green is the verb tense. So that's what we're looking at. Cyber Shingami says he saw an instance he ran into recently of obfuscated PowerShell that pointed to changing IPs based on system time. Okay, nice. Oh, Jamie Velez over on LinkedIn. First timer. Welcome to the party, Jamie. All right, so threat actor sends an email with a PDF in it. The PDF contains a URL that it doesn't quite make sense to me what the URL does, because the URL also hosts a fake PDF. I don't know why you would do two PDFs, but anyways, so a fake PDF, the PDF goes down, and now you got the ClickFix. The user clicks on a pop-up, right? The pop-up, it says pop-up runs PowerShell, but it doesn't run PowerShell. They literally, hey, Alpha Sierra. You know what, Alpha Sierra, for sure, as the drum major, literally the next time I see you, I will put one in your hand. So maybe at Black Hat DEF CON or Wild West Hackin' Fest. Okay. So the one thing you want to point out here, and Casually Joseph's probably been swimming in this, but this ClickFix thing in the middle here, the pop-up alert, and then it says it executes PowerShell. There's actually a step here where the end user, the victim, the Carl, is literally copying, open command, and then running the command, right? Or doing the Windows key R and then running the PowerShell command. So it doesn't say that, but they are running that. Once that happens, you're screwed. It creates a VB script which downloads the second stage payload, and then, more PowerShell. Quasar Rack comes in. You can see the scheduled task in the bottom right. This is a classic persistence mechanism. You reboot the computer, you clean the infection, whatever, and then, at 1 a.m. every single day, it launches and runs again and reinfects. So you got to look for those persistence mechanisms. This is incredibly effective, yo. Like they said, they're seeing it a bunch. I can't believe, like, with the level of sophistication we have in 2025, go to Black Hat, go to RSA, $1 million vendor booths, right? Solving all of your cyber problems. And my Uncle Paul is infecting himself. You know what I mean? Like, damn it, man. Damn it. Again, if you can, it's a bit of a tough control to implement, but privileged access management, my Uncle Paul has no reason to run PowerShell at all. Okay? So if you can control who gets to execute PowerShell in the environment, well then when threat actor gets, victim to copy paste PowerShell, it's not going to run because they don't have permissions to run it. They have a bunch of different ways of doing this. They'll say that the Windows key copy paste is the CAPTCHA, right? So there, we've conditioned people to needing to click on freaking fire hydrants or crosswalks or bicycles in order to get what they want. Like, oh, I want to see the football game. I want to watch the Chappelle skit. I want to read the Twitter post. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. And I've got to do the stupid show, like which pictures have cars, or move the puzzle piece, or arrange the teapot, whatever. Like, we've conditioned people to do that. So when you get this CAPTCHA looking thing and it says, copy this and paste it in here, you're almost on autopilot where you're like, yep, I just want to get to my DraftKings Stone Cold Lock of the Week. Like, yep, let me copy paste this. So, threat actors, good. I say threat actors good. For you first timers here, your Nicodemuses, your Jaime Velezes, I don't promote threat actor behavior. I think it's scum and villainy, but I do recognize, game recognizes game. I see you, threat actors. This is clever. And you know what? It's working. So more of it, right?
Threat actors, your ClickFixes, they're looking good.
All right, let's keep going. Whoa. Woo. Little residual there. Wow. Okay.
GoDaddy puts Zoom on mute for about 90 minutes. Attendees of Zoom meetings on Wednesday had more opportunity than usual to ask, "Can you hear me now?" as a domain registry error shut down the popular video chat platform for about 90 minutes. Cisco's Thousand Eyes Observability Group, who analyzed the incident, identified it as a DNS problem that meant top-level domain name servers did not have the records for zoom.us. Even after service returned, users who had been online at the time of the outage had to, quote, use command line skills to flush their DNS caches, end quote. An official report states that, quote, the domain zoom.us was not available due to a server block by GoDaddy Registry. This block was the result of a communication error between Zoom's domain registrar, Mark Monitor, and GoDaddy Registry, which resulted in GoDaddy Registry mistakenly shutting down the zoom.us domain, end quote. Mark Monitor is a domain management and security outfit, and GoDaddy Registry manages the entire .us namespace.
All right, there you go. So this is not a BGP error, although it looks like a BGP error. All these TLDs, right? Everybody got super greedy.
Straight cash, homie.
Right? Everybody got super greedy, and they came out with all these extra domain names, right? .zip, .us, .xxx, right? .com, obviously, right? .media, .tv, .fizzbang,
Flaming donkey.
right? We got them all. And but GoDaddy somehow owns or is managing .us. It kills me. it doesn't kill me, but I just find it wild that these like private sector companies are responsible for managing essentially like it's like a public not service, but like it's like commons, right? Like .com, like .org, like it's to call it critical infrastructure isn't even right. I mean, it's like it's for the commons, okay? Like the greater good society. But these private sector companies own them. So .us is owned by GoDaddy. Didn't know that. I was today years old when I learned it. Well, Zoom.us is kind of one of Zoom's big things. And because of a DNS DNS update, they basically blacked out the entire .us domain. So Zoom was obviously the main the headline here, but literally if Simply Cyber was simplycyber.us instead of simplycyber.io, guess what? We're down too, right? So, unfortunately, this crap does happen. Now with DNS, and with networking in general, DJ Bsec's behind the glass now. Holy crap. Deb Wigley's in the house. Guys, you know what? Good Friday might become my new favorite day. So many familiar friends and people we haven't seen in a minute showing up in chat. I saw Daniel Lowry here. He's a regular on the Fridays. Daniel, look at, I've joined the I Wear Glasses crew as well. So there's nothing you can do, okay? That's the TLDR here. If you are running a business and you have a .us domain as part of your business online profile or persona, you couldn't have done anything. This could happen, literally, this could happen to .io, like Simply Cyber could go blackout because of something like this. So, having said all that, .carl, yes. Let me tell you something really quickly, okay? One thing that they had to do was flush the DNS cache. Now, if you're old like me, right, or DJ Bsec, or maybe some others in chat right now, you may remember back in the day, it was like not uncommon as part of your standard troubleshooting techniques to pop open a command shell. Obviously, you would like ping a URL or something like that, or ping an IP address. But then you might do ipconfig /flush DNS just to just to exhaust all of the opportunities of what it is. Coffee man, coffee cup cheers with the super chat, my man. Good to see you. You had to do this too. So even though Zoom.us was back up, a lot of people who DNS records had gotten updated were still either pointing to a bad IP or having some type of like what is it? Like not nerfed, but like a stubbed way to resolve the .us top domain. So you had to flush the DNS. Again, at this point, the story is old, right? The story's done, right? Like this is fixed. Zoom is back up. But you can just see here, this is this is a Linux command to flush the cache, but what I said was on the Windows side of things. All right. You don't see these often, but it is not super rare. I would say it's uncommon, not super rare for parts of the internet to black out, basically. It's usually a BGP issue. The last one I remember seeing was Facebook had a junior engineer on like a Friday afternoon left to his own devices, and he updated BGP and like dropped half of like Europe or something like that. But yeah. Guys, you know what? It's either DNS or it's the firewall. Like those will be the two things. Whether that's true or not, that's what your end users are going to say. It's the firewall, open it up. And IT people, you should look at DNS first.
Critical Erlang OTP SSH flaw exposes devices to remote hacking. As posted in Security Week, quote, Erlang OTP is a collection of libraries, middleware, and other tools designed for creating scalable, soft real-time systems that require high availability, such as e-commerce, banking, and communications applications, end quote. Now, according to a team of researchers from Ruhr University Bochum in Germany, the collection's SSH implementation is, quote, affected by a critical vulnerability for which they calculated a CVSS score of 10, end quote. Tracked with a CVE number now, the flaw is related to the SSH protocol message handling, which allows an attacker to send connection protocol messages prior to authentication. The researchers added that, quote, all SSH servers that leverage the Erlang OTP SSH library are likely to be impacted, and they drew attention to ones used for remote access, end quote.
All right, so this isn't good. I'm not familiar with this Erlang OTP, which is one-time password, or that's typically what that acronym stands for to me. So this has to do with SSH servers. So if your SSH is like the standard remote access solution for popping into Linux-based boxes or Unix-based boxes, secure shell, port 22, if you've ever done a single CTF or box, then you know what SSH is. What I want to say is the vulnerability allows an attacker to execute arbitrary code, which basically means, to say arbitrary code, all that means is they're going to run a second stage payload and bring down the actual malware, right? Or they're going to create a new, oh, thank you. They're going to create a new a user account on the box and then hide there, okay? If your daemon's running as root, the attacker has full access to your device, right? So, I mean, you'd almost assume you have full access to the device, because when you say arbitrary code, typically if you run arbitrary code without permissions, then it's stupid, right? So let's look at this. The researchers calculated the CVE score, CVSS score for the CVE as a 10. CVSS scores can only get to 10. 10 is the worst. 10 means it's being actively exploited right now in the wild. We're going to do two tools here. We got Barricade Cyber's EPSS tool. An unexpected error occurred. And then we have DJ BSEC's EPSS score. Here you go. And we're going to do this and do today. I don't know why you just don't default to today's date or yesterday's date, DJ BSEC. I don't know when you'd ever do a different one. So you could see here on stream, there is a 0.3% chance of you getting exploited in the next 30 days. So 1/3 of 1% of you getting hit. If you do get hit, obviously, it's like right in the middle of all vulnerabilities that are in the EPSS catalog of bad. Dude, executing root on a internet-facing asset is not good in any means. But this is a perfect case study of where CVSS score of 10, which basically means stop the stream and go patch this right now. You gotta patch it. Right? Versus the reality of an EPSS score of 0.31%. You can do this during your normal maintenance window, okay? Again, when you have a CVSS score of 9.8, that means it's really bad, not being actively exploited typically, and 10 means it's being actively exploited. When we look at this EPSS score, this kind of would say to me it's not being actively exploited at scale. So, again, and I'll be the first to admit, I used to treat the CVSS score as like the gold standard of how bad this is. This EPSS score I've been turned on to by Brandon Poole, and it is spicy. All right, let's keep going. But TLDR, dudes, find out if you're running this Erlang OTP version of SSH or this protocol in your SSH and get it sorted out. Your Linux admins, trust me, and this is you're going to feel seen, and this might sting a little bit. Your Linux admins right now have pretty much, if they've been at their job for a few years now, they've pretty much automated their job. They look like they're busy. They're not. They're on Reddit right now. So fire this over. They've got some cycles. Believe that.
Huge thanks to our sponsor, Vanta. Do you know the status of your compliance controls right now? Right now? We know that real-time visibility is critical for security, but when it comes to our GRC programs, we rely on point-in-time checks. But more than 9,000 companies have continuous visibility into their controls with Vanta. Vanta brings automation to evidence collection across over 35 frameworks, like SOC 2 and ISO 27001. They also centralize key workflows like policies, access reviews, and reporting. and helps you get security questionnaires done 5 times faster with AI. Now that's a new way to GRC. Get started at vanta.com/headlines. That is VANTA.com/headlines.
All right, let's go. Hey, first timers, we do this every day. All right, guys. What a Friday. Thank you for being here, everybody. I hope you're having a great show. A lot of long-timers, a lot of familiar friends getting back up in here. Hello, DJ Bisek, Jenny Housley, Justin Gold, Casually Joseph, the Antisyphon team, the Black Hills team, coming hot off the heels of B-Sides Charm. Maybe we'll get a Zach Hill appearance if we're lucky. Guys, shout out to the stream sponsors, Barricade Cyber, Delete Me, Antisyphon, Threat Locker. Thank you, sponsors, for enabling me to bring this show and not have to sweat the other things in order to be able to focus on delivering this and serving this community. Guys, I say it all the time. Thank you for the opportunity to serve. It's an absolute pleasure. It's an absolute privilege to be able to serve this community. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Every single day of the week has a special segment, and Fridays is James McQuiggan's Dad Jokes of the Week. James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. This guy, he's got such status on Delta that he gets to fly in the cockpit. This guy. All right, James McQuiggan, if you see him at a conference, say hello. He's a very nice man. James says, hey, seeing as baseball season's in full swing, here's some baseball dad jokes. Why are singers good at baseball? Why are singers good at baseball? Did you know they have perfect pitch? Whoa! All right, did you hear the joke about the fast pitch? Code Brew, did you hear the joke about the fast pitch? Never mind, you missed it. All right. Hey, Deb Wigley. Did you hear the joke about the pop fly? Deb, did you hear about the pop fly? Don't worry about it. It's over your head. Oh, God. All right. I don't read these in advance either. All right. Hey, Bruising Hacks. Why are most baseball stadiums so cold? Bruising Hacks. Kia ora, why are the most baseball stadiums so cold? Even the ones in like Phoenix and Tampa, they're so cold because they're full of fans. All right. Thank you, James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. By the way, if you see his talks, he actually does a lot of talks at conferences. He does work dad jokes into his material. He's basically doing stand-up comedy, and also you know what? James actually works cybersecurity education into his stand-up routines, basically. All right, we're going to let this breathe here. Every single day we do this. You know the words. Alpha Sierra is our official drum major. Alpha Sierra is going to lead us off, but everybody follow along. You know the words. Even if it's your first time, you know what we're going to do. Classic Breakfast Club. Good Friday, April 18th. This sets the tone for the weekend. Let's finish strong, everybody.
SonicWall warns of old vulnerability now actively exploited. This warning refers to a security advisory for an SMA 100 series vulnerability that was patched in 2021.
Oh, come on.
It is described as an authenticated arbitrary command execution vulnerability. According to Security Week, quote, when patches were announced in September of 2021, the vulnerability went largely unnoticed, likely because it was assigned a medium severity rating, a CVSS score of 5.5, and also due to its exploitation requiring authentication, end quote. It now turns out that the flaw has been exploited in the wild, forcing SonicWall to assign a new CVSS score of 7.2, making it high severity.
Oh my God. Jesus. I need, I guess, mod. Can I get is there a meme? I feel like there's a meme somewhere of I want to say it's a female face, but because that's yeah, thank you. This is perfect, DJ VSEC. This is what I like when I look at it. God damn! What? Look at this thing, dude. SonicWall. 26% chance you're going to get exploited in the next 30 days if you're riding dirty with this thing. 96th percentile. That means 96th percentile means of all the vulnerabilities in hundreds of thousands that are in this database, this one is worse if exploited than 96% of all of the other ones. This is definitely not good. And even though you only have a 1 in 4 chance of getting popped in the face, why don't we not play with fire? Why don't we not juggle chef knife? Thank you. Yes, I guess it's Christy Teigen. Is that her name? Christy Teigen? This is my inner monologue when I see this.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Bro, if you're running SonicWall, here's the TLDR on this one, okay? And DJ BSEC, can you quickly confirm that this SMA 100 is supported? This vulnerability was patched in 2021. If you're running a piece of technology and you haven't patched it in 4 years, what the hell are you doing? I get it. You're busy. 4 years you couldn't find a maintenance window? People have come, worked, and left the company, and they were there long enough to have a send-off happy hour. That's how old this vulnerability is, bro. Thank you, Casually Joseph. Dude, where are we in 2025? Sometimes I feel apathetic, okay? And I hate to be this guy, but in 2025, our end users are infecting themselves. Threat actors don't even have to do the work. And we're talking about, you got to protect from 0 days. Pegasus software is a 0-click infection. No, it's good. You got to watch out for the 1204-day vulnerability. Thank you, Casually Joseph. What are we doing here? SonicWall, you busted. Okay, it's a cloud device. Listen, I get you, vulnerability management analysts. I get that you can't patch all the things. A new dump truck of vulnerabilities comes every Patch Tuesday. You're dealing with, overwhelming numbers. But for crying out loud, bro, patch your stuff. When you do a vulnerability scan and you find cryptographic module or whatever, okay. But this,
Mustang Panda sallies forth.
Flaming Donkey sallies forth. Continue.
According to a report from Zscaler, the Chinese espionage-focused APT has now used an updated backdoor and several new tools in a recent attack. Already proficient in using Windows 0 days, Zscaler says, quote, the APT Mustang Panda is relying on DLL sideloading to execute its malicious payloads and evade detection, deploying all tools as libraries within archives that also contain a vulnerable executable to load them, end quote. The group is, quote, known for targeting government and military entities, as well as NGOs and minority groups, mainly in East Asia, but also in Europe, end quote.
All right. Windows 0 days and attacks. Somebody let Mustang Panda know about the 1204 days. I think Mustang Panda's working a little too hard. Mustang Panda's working harder, not smarter. Okay, as always, I want to point this out. Mustang Panda, not to be confused with
Mustang Sally.
Also goes by the name Basin, Bronze President, Earth Preda, Red Delta, notably omitted Flaming Donkey. All of these are the same name for Mustang Panda. Different security companies give the different names. They have their own basically threat actor naming convention. Part of it's marketing. Part of it's so they can make cool t-shirts. Part of it is so they don't have to follow the lead of another. And there isn't some type of, independent authority. There's no like United Nations of threat actors or threat actor naming convention that anybody follows, right? Not to be confused with Criminal Con from the Minions movie, where a lot of these threat actors meet up. Actually, there's a Flaming Donkey community meetup at Criminal Con 2025 down in Orlando this summer. So if you're looking to connect with like-minded threat actors,
Come on down.
all right. I'm joking. There is not a Criminal Con. That's a fictitious conference in the Minions movie. What do you need to know about this one? They've been doing it for a couple years. This one kind of should have an infographic. I don't see if they have one now. There isn't. Let's see what you got to look for. Dude, look at these names, man. The Cork Log Keylogger is deployed through the Splat Dropper utility and the Splat Cloak Driver, not to be confused with the Packlog Keylogger or the Star Proxy as a post-compromise tool. Like, what are we doing here? There's like more, verbal diarrhea than there is content here. So Star Proxy is a tool that allows you to proxy traffic between infected hosts in a CNC server. This is kind of how, if you've ever seen how oh my God, not CrowdStrike. What's the, I'm like blanking now. What's the post-exploitation tool that's super popular? It's the most popular one. Not CrowdStrike. Why am I blanking on this? It's like, No, not Mimikatz. It's not a tool. It's like a whole. It's like Empire or Sliver. It's Cobalt Strike. Thank you, Code Brew. Cobalt Strike. I always get confused because CrowdStrike. Yeah, Cobalt Strike does this proxying. So if you've ever seen it, like a victim will route through another victim and then out, just to kind of help. You don't have all the endpoints communicating to one because that would kind of stand out in a SIM. So I want to give you some information here. DLL sideloading. Dude, I've been seeing a lot of DLL sideloading attacks in the last couple weeks. Definitely an uptick in activity for that. Let's see. I'm just trying to see if there's like any IOCs or anything that you can do to protect from these ones. Let's see. Oh, this is kind of cool. So the FBI and French law enforcement discovered that this malware, this PlugXRat, actually has a self-delete mechanism. A lot of times advanced threat actors will put in kill switches in their own malware. And essentially the idea is if the malware gets out or if the malware gets on your own systems and stuff like that, you have the ability to shut it down, like John Taffer from Bar Rescue. You shut it down, right? If you don't put those mechanisms in place and it gets out in the wild, you could accidentally cause havoc. Honestly, it really is responsible. Again, these are threat actors, but these are military state-sponsored people. So like they're literally just doing their job. By putting in these kill switches, it's actually responsible of them. Obviously, they're doing it to protect themselves, not to protect us. But we saw the same thing with WannaCry. Here we go. Here's John Taffer letting you know. You've made it as an advanced threat actor if you have one of these John Taffer functions in your software. I don't see any IOCs in here, so just if you do support government or military entities, NGOs in East Asia or Europe, and I know that's a subset of the Team SC community, the Simply Cyber community, I will put a link in here and drop it here. you should definitely go check that out. Also, if I had to guess, Mustang Panda's been operating for over 10 years, so there's probably a pretty healthy MITRE ATT&CK framework right up on them. Yeah, you can see right here on stream, I'm looking at MITRE ATT&CK, the Mustang Panda site. You can see this was last modified in March of 2023, so unfortunately this isn't maintained very well, which totally sucks. But yeah, you can look at this. This is what makes MITRE ATT&CK so cool. I put in Mustang Panda, and within minutes or seconds, excuse me, I can see Mustang Panda's TTPs, right? How they get into it. Spear phishing links, okay? They use email accounts for, I guess, for resource development. I'm not quite sure what that's up. Yeah, initial access, spear phishing. So without even knowing about the IOCs and what they're doing, what I would say right away is, okay, they use spear phishing as the attack technique. So I want to make sure that my power users, my end users, my VIPs, they're all educated on best practices for not falling for phishes. I want to make sure my email security gateway is tightened up. You can see here they do PowerShell and VB, Windows Command Shell. I want to make sure if I can, privileged access is managed around PowerShell execution. Scheduled task is their persistence mechanisms. So I want to make sure I'm detecting on scheduled task creations. Anyways, this is the value of MITRE ATT&CK. I'm going to drop a link to this in chat right now. MITRE ATT&CK is a super valuable tool, and this is just one way to use it, okay? All right. Becky Gaylord says, Jerry, what's some good ways to mitigate side loading attacks or DLL side loading attacks? Becky, I mean, it's kind of hard. I mean, they have to write the DLL to disk, right? So, that's one thing. Like if you can detect the creation of a DLL file, that would detect that the problem is there. It doesn't necessarily mitigate the risk of the attack, but it does limit the detection time to, mere seconds where you can intervene. I mean, yeah, DLL sideloading attacks are tricky. Obviously behavior-based mechanisms. After the attack happens, what happens afterwards, you might be able to get some detections on that. I'll throw this. Is waiting... No, Wade's not here. Eric Taylor, are you in here? Hold on one second. Barricade's not in here. Yeah. So, Kat says, do DLLs get signed in any ways? Yes. Windows DLLs can be signed. They can be signed, so that is another kind of protection mechanism. But, I hate to be such a cynical prick, but I mean, how many times have you gotten a pop-up saying that, like, something's dodgy, and you just click through it because you're like, give me my candy. Click, 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 click. I want my candy. I want my ice cream. Click, 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 click. Right? All right.
Over 16,000 Fortinet devices compromised with Symlink backdoor. This exposure states that more than 16,000 internet-exposed Fortinet devices, quote, have been detected as compromised with a new Symlink backdoor that allows read-only access to sensitive files on previously compromised devices, end quote. This follows a warning from Fortinet issued last week in which the company said it had, quote, discovered a new persistence mechanism used by a threat actor to retain read-only remote access to files in the root file system of previously compromised but now patched FortiGate devices, end quote. Fortinet has released an updated AV IPS signature to detect and remove the Symlink, and the latest version of its firmware has also been updated to detect and remove the link.
All right. Real Bilbo just stood up on his Peloton and leaned into it because he's a big FortiGate guy. All right. Fortinet device is compromised with Symlink backdoor. If you're running Fortinet and it's internet facing, you definitely want to, make sure that you've got this thing patched up. You got to patch it. Secondly, you want to make sure that you go threat hunting and confirm whether or not you were infected, okay? There is persistence mechanisms to get read-only remote access to files on the root system. That's not good. Obviously, what version of Fortinet do you need to go? Yeah, so Symlink is it's like a Linux. I don't know if you can do Symlinks on Microsoft operating system, but Symlinks allows you to kind of like create a file, but it's just a it's like a pointer to another file. And this one allowed you to take a file on the user system where you have permissions, point into the root file system, which obviously once you're accessing root files, you can do all sorts of shenanigans. What version of Fortinet should we be getting up to here? Oh, Jesus. They actually emailed people whose devices were compromised. So if you got one of these emails, you're well aware of what's cracking. I hate to be so flippant about it. We are running low on time. If you're running Fortinet, you should probably be treating patching your Fortinet devices as like a full-time activity. Because Fortinet's like Fortinet, Zixel, QNAP, you know, you're constantly having problems. Really quickly, just as a quick reminder, since Becky Gaylord asked, the DLL sideloading attack, DJ BSEC weighed in on this and said that through Microsoft Defender, if you have Microsoft Defender, other tools can do it. You can actually configure at the enterprise level that nothing is allowed to install that isn't signed by, you know, some pre-approved certification like Microsoft or, you know, whoever. So you can control it that way, making it difficult for threat actors.
Microsoft Office 2016 and 2019 reach end of support in October. Microsoft is reminding...
All right, we're running low on time because we have a hard stop at 9:30. I want to get to Jawjacking. Here's the TLDR. If you're running Office 16 or 19, tell Janet in accounting that she's got to upgrade. It's just, it's over. October's around the corner. I would, honestly, guys, I know that this is not super fair or like I'm a really high integrity guy. I would just start socializing this that it's going end of life in June. Okay. And deal with that, you know, end it. And then you're going to have like 20% of users who are dragging their feet or whatever. And then just, you know, basically if this is the fat client, uninstall it, uninstall it from their machine. You know what I mean? Like there's other options, right? You don't need to be running Office 2016 just because, you know, you can still use Clippy. All right. It's introducing unnecessary attack surface for the sake of like Carl having his, you know, his favorite links or whatever, right? You've got to do system life cycle. In 2016, you know, you're a decade old, right? Office 2016, Casually Joseph wasn't even born yet. You know what I mean? Like, we got to get with the times, people. All right, let's keep cracking. I think we're actually at time. We are at time. All right, check this out. All right, guys. Hey, long timers, first timers, old, you know, friends, Pamela. Just so great to see everybody. Thank you for the opportunity. Today was Good Friday, April 18th, 2025, episode 859. I hope you had a great show. Don't go anywhere because every single day after the show ends, we immediately pivot like Chandler or Ross to Jawjacking. Jawjacking's a separate show, but you don't have to go anywhere. I'll take care of all of it. Jawjacking is a 30-minute AMA where we answer all your cyber questions, and on Fridays, we actually do a panel. The panel is epic because you're going to get a diverse group of people, not just two thumbs this guy yelling at a mic. Stay tuned. It's going to be awesome. If you have any questions, drop them in chat with a Q. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. If you got a boogie out here, have a great weekend. Thanks so much, and until next time, stay secure. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Let me take the glasses off since Jerry guy doesn't wear glasses anymore. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Jawjacking. I am your host, Jerry Guy, coming hot off the heels of the Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief with that nerd. Oh, my God. What is zero? Talking about Fortinet patches and 2021 0 days. Guys, it's all about good times. Friday's the panel. Let me introduce you to your panel. We got a stacked board today. This is cool. Ladies and gentlemen, you may remember him as the old graybeard who's got 2 turntables and a microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, may I reintroduce you to DJ Bisek.
It's not gray.
No, it's distinguished. It's distinguished. Great to see you back in the studio, Bisek. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's salt and pepper. That's what it is.
All right. You guys know him as the Young, a.k.a. Gen Z, a.k.a. the Rizzler. Ladies and gentlemen, Casually Joseph.
What's going on? Call that salt and pepper. It looks a lot of salt there.
He likes to season. It's
All
a
right.
Texas rub. As we've got a newcomer to the table. Hold on. His name is aggressively John, I think. Let's welcome him to the crew. We'll give it a little intro from him. Ladies and gentlemen, a newcomer. How are you?
Hello, coming in with the translucent beard.
There we go. I love it. I love it. All right, and then finally, you guys know him as the Grizzler, kind of like the Rizzler, except more irritable. Ladies and gentlemen, he smokes meats. Eric Taylor.
I'm grumpy.
All right, guys. So this is AMA Jawjacking. Is it Johnny?
Yep, Johnny.
Johnny. So the community is pretty familiar with these other, slack-jawed yokels over here. Can you do a 30-second who are you and kind of where's your focus of expertise so I can funnel the questions to you that are most appropriate?
Yeah, so my name is Johnny Westfall. I actually work with Casually Joseph at Unit 42 as a MDR analyst. I focus on the blue side of things.
We apologize in advance for that.
I promise he's an adult.
Sometimes.
So work on the blue side of things, catching bad guys, investigating novel threats, learning about, how bad guys work so we can better stop them and, stay one step ahead.
I love it. All right. Well, welcome to the panel, Johnny. It's great to have you. I hope you have a good experience. First timers in chat and first timers on the panel. All right. So I'm just looking at chat right now.
All right. I got to say right off the bat, Phil Stafford came in and said that Joseph's paprika if I'm salt and pepper.
There you go. Yeah. It's like pumpkin spice.
Oh my God. I loathe pumpkin spice. I feel like pumpkin spice is one of those things that is divisive. Like it could destroy a family. Like if you're, if there's some division amongst the family on the pumpkin spice, but that pumpkin beers, get out of here with that noise. Okay.
It's like McDonald's McRib. It'll destroy a family.
Yeah. So let's get some going. I don't see the questions yet. Drop them in chat. But Eric Taylor mentioned phishing GPT. Eric, what's phishing GPT? What do we need to know about it?
Oh boy. Okay, so bear with me 1 second. Let me spin up my sandbox. Let's put this in.
Okay.
A thing. It'll literally just take a second. So we'll do this. We'll share. So this was
GPT. Isn't that just like DeepSeek?
No, this is a whole new different GPT. So a dude on LinkedIn put this together, and I'll put it here in the chat. This bad boy is literally creating phishing pages on the fly.
Zoom in.
Yeah,
I mean, this is size 1 font. Yeah, there you go.
Look here. Get better glasses, boomer.
Get a bigger screen.
Dude, this is ultra wide, dude.
He's saying I should get a bigger screen. All right, so yeah. What do we got to know about this thing?
So this thing is going to be able to create cloned websites and making phishing a lot more faster. So, and this, when I was doing some testing on this thing yesterday, it was actually creating some really, really good alternates of the White House and Proton Mail. It will scour the entire website. So that way all the links are clickable and it's operating like a true
son of
it gets really, really crazy. So, be on alert. Phishing will be increasing as this technology is being spread and adopted. This dude just put the thing out last night. So
yeah, there's a lot of tools coming out. I saw Perry Carpenter said yesterday on stream that deepfakes tech, there's another app coming out that just absolutely lowers the bar to where my kids could do it. Let's keep on going. Phishing GPT, watch out for it. Johnny, Becky Gaylord asked a question about protecting from DLL sideloading attacks. I offered a couple thoughts in stream. DJ BSEC too. Johnny, from your perspective, what would you recommend to an organization to try to combat this?
Yeah, so we were actually discussing this on side channels a little bit as it came up. And, there's a couple different ways. One thing Joseph brought up is, make sure that the DLLs that are getting run with whatever application are actually signed. One additional mechanism, and, it kind of depends on whatever tooling you're monitoring through, but monitoring for DLL load paths. If you're starting to see DLLs loading out of local application paths, app data roaming and stuff like that, there's a possibility, pretty good chance that this might be a DLL hijack. I mean, a lot of times normal benign applications will load their own custom DLLs out of their own path, but it's a good starting point for, maybe there might be a malicious DLL getting loaded into memory for this application.
Thank you. And Slim Daddy actually said, why not use FIM or file integrity monitoring to block these files? Have you seen clients or, and again, I don't want any specific information, right, to any particular client, but I mean, are you seeing file integrity monitoring as a successful tool?
I think that kind of depends, because that's going to really focus on like file writes to paths that you don't want file writes to. And, when you're talking about an application, like let's imagine a portable executable running in an app data path, that's going to be a completely randomly generated path with a lot of, not randomly generated, but custom path with, unique parameters. So pointing to that specific path rather than monitoring just any DLL getting loaded might not be the best way to go about it.
There you go. And I personally have tried using file integrity monitoring tools in the past, namely, I'll just name it because I don't care, Tripwire. And I have found it unbelievably difficult, like on the level of getting DLP to work correctly. So it is that. Angela Reeder had a question. BSEC, I wanted to throw it to you first. If someone wants to start a website or portfolio to show off skills, what do you recommend? And I'd like to position this, BSEC and then Johnny afterwards, as like you guys interview and hire people. Like you just did it with Casually Joseph, Johnny, and BSEC. I know you've been heads down. Like if 5 candidates come in and they all have different kinds of portfolios, which one seems to resonate with you for whatever reason? BSEC?
For me, it's however they show off their skills. Like we've talked about it with my GitHub and all the other stuff that we put out there. For me, it's always the way that you can show that you have the capability of doing something, especially for those that haven't been in the industry or are trying to break into the industry. If you're trying to get into it and you don't actually have any work in the industry, this is a way for you to show the skills that you have, right? So write-ups and so forth. For me, it's just a way to prove to whomever you're talking to across the table that you have what it takes to do it, to do the job.
Johnny, what do you think? Since you're like you were actively interviewing folks recently.
I actually interview mainly for more junior level folks. So it's kind of perfectly posed. What I'm more so looking for is sort of a high level of what DJ BSEC is looking for, where does the candidate show that they have a high growth potential? Are they, participating in conferences? Are they writing those write-ups? Are they actively involved in trying to, learn things and be, better themselves? Or is it just, I clock in 9 to 5 and, I stop bad guys and then I go and do nothing else related to cyber ever again?
So Joseph, you were just, kind of, you started a YouTube channel, and I know that I've heard that Unit 42 liked that. Is there anything that you did that maybe didn't return value for you particularly, or you've seen people who are in your, ilk of Gen Z there,
I found that LinkedIn posts weren't really things that people would like really read. I tried to do like the word wall informative posts, and people didn't really like them. they would like comment to interact with it, but they weren't reading it. Like you could tell that like the people who were reading it, they would typically go to DMs and talk to you about it. And then like your general responses in the comments, it's like, yeah, I mean, they're interacting with it and they might be reading some of it, but if you want to do like blog style posts, maybe skip the social media and just actually put them on like a Medium or something and then link it to LinkedIn.
There you go. And Daniel Lowry, who does help a lot of people, shares his comments here as well as, kind of lean into like what you're comfortable with, right? If you're comfortable on camera, speak to do videos, etc. I'd also add to this one personally. I despite being very like extroverted, I used to have a real tough time, like pure anxiety dump with public speaking, and I just like leaned into it until. It took a few years, but leaned into it until I became more comfortable with it. So there is, pushing through and doing something that makes you uncomfortable in order to get to the other side of it. So continuing to look at chat. Again, if anyone wants to speak to this, I don't know. You can kind of be dodgy recommending or dissing a product. So, Eric Taylor, you seem to never have a problem. As far as vulnerability management goes, he says, or Ellipsis says Rapid7 or Tenable, but I'll throw it to a more generic question. Is there a vulnerability management tool that you have used that you feel strongly about, either, for or against?
I mean, I like CrowdStrike. It's got a nice vulnerability management platform in it. There's a couple other ones that are out there that are really decent. The thing that really rubs me the wrong way with a lot of them is the false positives.
Mm-hmm.
When Joseph worked there, he seen a lot of that even with CrowdStrike and some of the other the applications that we use. Like it would say that it's not patched, but it really was, or it was patched and it really wasn't. So being able to go through and do proper verification of patching of the vulnerability. The other thing that a lot of people don't really understand is some of these patches, you can't just push an MSI, cab file, whatever have you, and it's patched. Some of them do require additional steps for the remediation, like reg keys, things of that nature. Like there's one, I forget which KB it is, and maybe Joseph knows or DJ BSEC, but if you go in your root folder, everybody now has an inet pub, like you're running a website on your workstation, and it's literally to fix a vulnerability in the Windows operating system. They just created a freaking folder.
Yeah, I just saw that just got pushed out, didn't it?
Yeah, this month's update. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. And I'll just share, like in my experience too, like I've, there's only a few like big name vulnerability scanners. Again, being a GRC, like CISO dork, like they're all kind of doing the same thing, frankly. And it gets into the pricing model. So I'll just tell you, Tenable, like you can buy the scan engine for like $3,000 and that's not too bad, but it's the reporting that they charge you an A load for. So you either have to pay for the reporting, which is actually what you need, so you can show trends and how the program's doing, or you have to like get someone to start doing Power BI and start making dashboards, and you end up spending a lot of time on that. So you're either trading time or money, right? So I probably just gave Jay Crypto, aka Justin Gold, a little bit of a cold sweat right there, just talking about Power BI. All right, now. I like this question right here. DJ BSEC has done this wonderfully. Slim Daddy 9 says, personal career page, right? We just talked about that portfolio. He's working on a personal GitHub page to showcase home lab projects, thoughts, and experiments. DJ BSEC, what are your thoughts about using GitHub as kind of your portfolio? And while you're saying that, I'm actually going to bring yours up because I think yours is phenomenal.
I think it's a great idea. There's a lot of people that did this prior to, and everybody uses GitHub as a repo for all of their stuff. So you can put all your stuff out there, and then if you actually go and create a GitHub page and use it as your website, I mean, for me, you can see it. It's all there.
Yep. So this is a GitHub repo. It just doesn't look like your traditional GitHub repo. It looks like a portfolio website. Here's his cyber news. Here's his EPSS tool. Like for me, as a person who would be interviewing or scoping out DJ BSEC, I would definitely go to this because it would be on his resume. No question, it would be on his resume. I would go check it out, and then I'd probably be like, "Oh Jesus, like this is cool. Like he's like built a tool. Like how did he do this? You know what I mean? Like it really does give a third dimension to your resume and really helps you stand out in a sea of sameness. No question.
There is a fine line. So the one thing I've been learning, creating some of the tools that we're doing over here, is like, are you actually going to look to showcase your ability, or is this a tool that you will later try to monetize from? Right. So, if it's something that you're going to be monetizing, you can't open source that thing on GitHub and then decide to pull it down later. Right. So think about your long-term objective of the tool that you're doing. But if you're just showcasing your work, like walkthroughs and stuff like that of try hack the box, stuff like that I've seen other people do, then that's a worthy endeavor. But, the tool and the thing that you're doing, you got to look at what the longevity is and, see what is best cohesive for your long-term goals for it.
All right. That's awesome. There you go. Bustin' Justin. I love this name, by the way, dude. Bustin' Justin wants to know, he's a SOC analyst too, so he's got some cycles. He's been in the saddle for a minute. He's got a little bit of, some calluses in the upper thigh area. What can he do to deliver value as a SOC analyst too, as his company moves to EDR, XDR with 24/7 MSP capabilities? Now, I'm making a little bit of assumptions around Unit 42 and their capabilities, but Johnny, I feel like this question is pretty good, right in your wheelhouse as far as 24/7 MSP and how someone who's got a couple years, what they can do to kind of deliver value or stand out and kind of level up. So not just that entry level person, but the person mid-career.
Yeah, I think the move from analyst 1 to analyst 2 is probably a more interesting one, because you start to no longer be, okay, I saw something that looks weird, let me fire the alarm and get people to come and look at it. Now you're the person that's called on to come and look at it. And so I think as you move into that sort of role, the best thing to, sorry, I'm rereading the question again.
No problem.
Yeah. So here, a lot of times, you're going to be getting things escalated up to you. So, having that skill for reverse engineering malicious files that are coming up, things that that are flagging alerts, getting a better understanding of what's going on.
I love it. Eric, I know you basically run an MDR also service, and you're dropping in, not necessarily SOC analyst, but kind of that mid-tier blue team defender.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? And then, Joseph, we'll ask you, since you're basically speed running a career right now.
So you just got to make sure that you're doing due diligence when you're spinning this thing up. I'm going to take it by the question that this is a new venture that you are just offering inside the organization versus you're moving into a role of an existing line of business that the organization is doing. So making sure you have workflows in place for proper notification on criticality, right? Is email the best form of alerts versus pushover or PagerDuty or whatever to alert the team on everything, right? So that would be the biggest thing, because all of our inboxes get to be noisy as all get out. So I personally think email alerts is not good, and you'll fall on your face. And being able to set a time limit for your junior analyst before raising it to the next tier. You may not want to have your level 1 spending more than 20 minutes on an alert, or no more than 20 minutes on anything that's low or medium, but maybe 5 minutes on high or critical, right? So making sure you have your escalation plans in place and well practiced and rehearsed would be another recommendation.
Awesome. Joseph, from the actual in the skillet perspective, what do you think?
So, as a SOC 2 analyst, if you're a SOC level 2 analyst, let me clarify because SOC 2 is a thing. EDR, XDR coming in, you're going to have a managed service provider, MDR of some sort coming in. You're going to be receiving inquiries from that managed service or that managed detection. You're going to have to figure out if what they found was a true positive or not, because remember, they don't know their environment, your environment, like you know your environment. You know whether or not users are supposed to be doing what they're supposed to do, or if servers are communicating the way they do. Making good documentation to provide them. You're going to, if you're not really going to be changing what you're doing, you're just changing when you're doing it. So instead of being the one that responds directly to an attack, where the alert comes in and you triage, you are now more in the post-mortem where it's already been triaged, and now you are having to give tips or advice on how to embed or implement or figure out what actually happened.
Johnny, to round us out.
Yeah, now that I'm not deer in the headlights a little bit, I think especially in an MSP type of scenario, automate, and looking at any type of XDR platform, you're going to have the capability of tons of playbooks at your disposal to really, okay, we know that this is normal activity. Let's create really fine tailored, rules, tune this out, never look at it again, and focus on that, novel activity, things that are suspicious in environments, things that are not commonly seen that might, point to the beginning of compromise for your analysts. As well, automating, any types of like deeper investigation tasks, like, hey, we know that every single time we run this investigation, we're pulling this exact set of log types. Just automate that. So every time that comes in, those come in with it, and you can, create a workflow so that that takes less time each and every single time that you're going through it.
There you go. So automate, that's a great way to deliver value, because not only can it help you be faster and better and put your numbers up higher, but it also can be used by your coworkers to crush it as well. Really quick, Brews and Hacks, if you bring a pumpkin pie amber ale, I will yeet it into the sun.
Would you at least try it?
No. I know I don't like it.
But what if you like that one?
All right. DJ Bisek, what sites do you recommend for individuals looking to break into cyber to get experience and learning?
Oh, my favorite's Try Hack Me.
There you go. Hack Me.
That platform, for me, it's got everything on there for those that are trying to break in. If you're already in, there's things that are higher level, but if you're breaking in and wanting to get in, that's where I would go.
There you go. And it really depends what you want, Carlos. One thing that I always say to people, because this question, Carlos, is a very common question. Not that it's not appropriate for you to ask, but one thing you got to understand too is like saying you want to work in cyber is like saying you want to work in science, right? Like you need to be more specific in order to get the recommendations on experience and learning. Like where you're going to go learn hacking is much different than where you're going to go learn how to do that hot GRC work. All right.
Hey, wait.
GRC is dumb.
No, mistake. It's all lies. I also, just because it is relevant and I can do this, I do want to point out that this is something that I actually released on Wednesday this week. This right here, Carlos. And this class, it's free if you use this code GRC Jumpstart 0. I'll drop a link to it. This is like a 2-hour class that literally explains that it answers the two following questions. What the hell is GRC? Do I want to work in GRC? It's very deliberate. It's very specific, and it answers those two questions. I've got a lot of experience in GRC, and I've helped a lot of people. I made this class to answer that question. So GRC course. Hold on one second. Let's do this really quickly. Johnny, you've got a Return of the Jedi poster in the back. You look like you've seen a thing or two. What is your position on GRC? And feel free, this is a safe space. This is a safe space, my friend.
So I think GRC is a slept-on field. A lot of people definitely will talk about, oh, I want to jump in, I want to be a hacker, I want to stop threats, all these, but it's a necessary. We'll say it's a necessary evil. I don't think anybody is gonna say that it's the most fun thing to do, unless that's like your passionate thing. But just like all aspects, like I am, like threat hunting, like vulnerability management, it all is a piece of the puzzle. And without that, you're not really going to be able to function within your SOCs and your cybersecurity branches of your organization.
There you go. Independent, not unsolicited. I did solicit it, but I didn't pay Johnny to say anything like that about anything. GRC.
I don't believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah, checks in the mail.
Yeah. $25 coming from Cash App straight for Johnny.
Yeah,
well, I'm trying to come back, so.
GRC, yeah. All right, let's keep cracking. I'm going to ask a question, and then I actually have to dip for 9:30 a.m. So really quick, since we're going to be flowing, Johnny, thank you for coming. Joseph, Eric, DJ Bisek, we have multiple mods on the stream right now. If you guys want to keep rolling, keep doing it. So Adam asked the question, how often do you refer to scientific papers in cybersecurity? I think this is a great question because there is a lot of academic research and in the cyberspace. Let's go around the horn and let's start with Casually Joseph, since he made a face. He made the Chrissy Teigen face. There you go, Casually Joseph.
Scientific papers, white papers are great for learning new academia tricks that are super cool and cutting edge that you're probably not going to see in the wild for ever. The thing is, like, I don't find myself referencing scientific papers much at all. They're great. They're great to learn new stuff. But you can't sit there and scan an entire white paper when you're trying to find an IOC. That's where your data is going to be conglomerated somewhere else. You're not going to have to look at the raw source. Anyone else?
I think an equivalent might be the way that people are referencing threat intel. Cybersecurity. We're not looking at science the same way. If a nuclear physicist is going to reference specific white papers, we're going to reference specific recent threat intelligence coming out. Like Talos said XYZ threat actor is doing this bad thing. That gets referenced in your report. The similar fashion to the way you would reference a white paper.
Awesome. What about you, DJ Bisek?
What was that question? Sorry, I got something going on.
I figured you're over there being distracting. So do you refer to scientific white papers in cybersecurity? Or how often do you refer to them?
No, I don't. I don't refer to them. I mean, you can read them.
Yeah.
They're decent to read, but to me, it's all educational. For the most part, it's not necessarily something that you're not going to have an issue and go dive into a white paper.
Yeah. And that's kind of exactly what I was getting at. Is like, it's great to learn something for the first time. You might come back and read it if it was super interesting a couple times, but it's hard to reference like an entire scientific document whenever you're trying to just get things going on the fly.
Yeah. So,
Jerry's like, I got a video for that. I got an actual website for that. We will share screen real quick, and I won't share sound. If y'all haven't seen this, it's called IOC Parser. This bad boy will sit here and go through. You just put in the URL of your website, PDF, or whatever, and this thing will go through and try to find all the IOCs in that paper, so that way you can be able to get some of the information out of there. fellow CTI guy, Marine Corps buddy, showed this to me about 6 months ago, and it's worked out pretty well when you're trying to get the information relatively quickly. Then you can go back in there and, you know, read some of the other meat of it. But if you're just trying to get some of the IOCs, it's a pretty good item to use. One second. I'm getting caught up on the questions. Remember, if you are new here, put the Q : so that way I can actually find your question.
I think there was a few questions that we missed already.
Probably. I'm going back through it now. There was one question asking for our latest not for safe joke that we've heard. Are you new to this podcast? Because we're not allowed to say that kind of stuff here.
Yeah. Catch me after the podcast.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Catch me outside.
I know Priceless Pancake way towards the beginning asked Johnny how he's able to deal with me every day. And I would say probably the same way that Eric did.
Vodka.
Well, what you don't know, Joseph, is we actually have an entire HR department that is on standby to take complaints from the rest of our analyst pool about Joseph. So it's pretty ingrained.
Well, that makes
in
sense.
Workflow now.
I got hired and they had to hire a whole new HR wing just for me.
So you're creating jobs. Congratulations.
You're creating jobs.
Yeah.
I will have to say, since you got over to Unit 42, your beard is filling in nicely. It doesn't look like, grassy patches in the yard.
Well, it's been going for like 3 years now.
Yeah.
So did that happen as you joined? Because mine didn't start. I'm confused now.
What are your top ways to showcase your skills apart from certifications? And because we've already talked about GitHub, let's omit GitHub as well. Are there any other ways that you could come up with showcasing your certifications? Casual Joseph?
That's kind of where I decided to go the YouTube route. It helped show off skill, but it helps teach people, which is nice. That's what I like about it. YouTube, if you want to show it off, it's videos. You can't get more real than a video unless you deep fake yourself doing cyber stuff, which I guess also still technically takes tech skills. So
unless it's pre-recorded. If it's live, but if it's pre-recorded, you can mess up all day long and then come back and it still look like you know what you're talking about.
Well, that's what a lot of people like to do. And that's fine. You're still technically learning how to do it by messing it up and then looking perfect on camera.
Mr. Johnny, any ideas from you, good sir?
From the opposite perspective, because I am awkward, and so I don't do the YouTube thing as much. Blog posts are like the number one. It doesn't even have to be, I found this 0 day, or I created this crazy payload. Just simple, like as I'm learning basic things along the way. Something to, create a running portfolio of your growth is a great way to, and you just post that on LinkedIn, post that around, and people can see, like 6 months ago, I was learning about how, what a DLL is, and now I'm writing, DLL injection malware. It's just something to show that like you are advancing yourself and growing, and that's a very tangible way to do that without having to get on camera and get all of the equipment for that. If you get super into it, it's very low effort, well, maybe not low effort, but low commitment, and a lot of value from it.
Awesome. CBEF said OnlyFans.
Oh my god!
To be fair, while OnlyFans is primarily an adult industry,
they market themselves as not being that.
I know, but there's plenty of people that are out there that are doing yoga, bike repair. There are other content on OnlyFans. It's just probably 0.0002% of the other content.
Yeah.
DJ Bisek, any thoughts on this one? Or are you just over there in the weeds too much to focus?
No, I think what's been said is probably about all I've got.
Gotcha.
I am in the weeds, but I think everything that was said is spot on.
Such a manager answer.
Only let the minions talk.
Yeah.
They're doing great.
Trying to get caught up on questions. I think we've got most of them. Let me just check mod chat real quick.
If I could pull them myself, I would. I'm seeing a couple.
Are they putting a Q in there?
That one did.
All right, let me refresh. I do see about TCM. I don't know if we really want to discuss that any further than what we already have. That one.
Oh, is that what that? Okay, that's about TCM.
Yeah, that one's getting to be very political and very toxic topic.
Yeah, I think they're talking about all the drama that happened with the TCM pulling certs over some Discord drama or whatever happened.
I saw that pop up.
I mean, there's no real opinion that we can have on that that's going to garner anything other than bad ill from anyone, because, I mean, it's just like something happened, a company decided they didn't want to represent something, that's the story. Like, whether or not you agree with it, that's just a personal thing.
Yeah, you're going to literally divide. I mean, I'm not going to get political on this one, but let's just say any political or any president of recent history, you can either say you're for that person or against that person, and you're going to alienate the other half of the country.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, I think, whether you say you're for or against it, you're going to alienate some people.
There's always two sides.
And there's truth in the middle somewhere.
Yep. Walk that fine line.
Awesome. Well, we are starting to drop off on viewers.
I've got to drop, so I'm going to say bye to everybody because I've got to go put out this fire.
All right, everybody, try to push DJ BSEC out.
There we go.
There we go. Johnny, you failed on that.
Steve, yeah. Steve has a question. What are some examples of those resources or next steps you would strongly recommend? This didn't have a Q, by the way, Eric, so that's probably why you didn't see it. What are some examples of those resources or next steps you would strongly recommend to use in order to further expand your skills and knowledge after, oh my God, this chat keeps scrolling, after breaking into Cyber SOC 1/Junior SOC? Every time I would get halfway through the question, it would just like bump down below my scroll bar. Like,
well, go and pick it up. I really don't have much more than I've already said this week. So maybe you and Johnny there can be able to advise a little bit differently.
Yeah. So it's gonna be about upskilling. You're gonna have to learn how to go beyond just taking an alert and triaging it. You're going to get more into the automation field, maybe the stronger querying field, or even start to learn reversing so that you can, you're going to be basically, think about, you're leveling up. You're no longer able to just send it off to someone else. So you have to be ready to accept it when it's sent to you. So what skills apply there? It depends on company to company. I know if you're somebody like Johnny, it's going to be reverse engineering. If you're like one of our coworkers, Joel, it's going to be that automation or strong query work. It varies from person to person. You've got to figure out what interests you and pick that skill.
I would like to say before going to Johnny, a question to you: how many mics do you need to do a podcast? Because you got one in front of your face and one on your headset.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
This is because it's a gaming headset and I can't take this off. But it's just this.
10 snips work.
Did you say what? 10 snips? No, I still use this for gaming.
They make speakers as well.
They do.
That's horrible. If you want to do speakers right into my mic, we can hear everything twice.
Any thoughts on this one, Johnny?
Yeah. I think here is where you are really going to want to start getting into lab scenarios and not just, like a try hack me or hack the box, but get into really focused lab scenarios. Set up an Active Directory network and play with it, mess with it, break it, get a really strong understanding of how it all works together. Put tools onto that lab network, things like the Lima Charlie EDR, completely free. take that and start, dropping malware onto those endpoints or Metasploit payloads, really start to get a strong understanding of what badness really looks like, because you're going to be the one now that is making this determination as you move into a more level 2, more advanced role, making this determination, okay, this is not looking good and we need to take action quickly on this. So labs are your friend. I always preach the Lima Charlie tool for, cheap/free EDR. And it's served me pretty well.
Awesome. Here, Go Fish. We kind of went through this one already. Have any of you used or heard of phishing database on GitHub? I talked to the contributors at B-Sides Charm, and it seems to be a really cool tool. And that's what I was kind of showing the website of the phishing GPT to be able to create a lot of that stuff. As has been mentioned here, we're creating a report for it right now. So doing a blog report, and then I'll do a spot rep report on it. So it's going to be interesting to see this thing advance the way it has. Let's see. Yep, I do think that is everything. Is there any last comments? Well, while we're getting ready to bow out here, Johnny, kind of introduce, or you already, sorry, kind of tell everybody how to find you on the socials and keep up with you and all the work that you do.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I was pulling up my blog a minute ago when I was caught deer in the headlights.
Joseph, has that effect on you as well?
Usually.
It's just one of my skills. Oh man, can y'all hear me right now? My screen just froze. That's fun. I was going to say I kind of want to just like pull up Microsoft Paint and have Johnny go through the Luma Stealer attack kill chain, because we saw it earlier in that infograph that was like really all over the place. And I want to get an Eric Taylor doing how to do C2, but with Johnny with how to do Luma Stealer.
As soon as I saw that graph pop up, I was like, oh, I know about that. That's a thing. So here's just one of my blog posts. I focus more on like written stuff. I don't post a ton, but starting to get out there more. I am working on a new blog right now, actually focusing on DLL hijacking. And so that one I'll probably have out within the next month or so. Hopefully I'll be able to turn that into a bit more of a presentation style thing as well.
Awesome. Greatly appreciate it. Any final remarks before heading out of here?
Nothing specific.
Growing beard, Joseph?
No, it's just it's great to be on panel, and I look forward to next Friday. So thank you.
Maybe Joseph could now become a Sasquatch in the next Know Your Meme Thursday or Meme Thursday. Awesome. Well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. There is Daniel Lowry's IRL in YouTube coming up here in about 15 minutes. So definitely go over there and raid his channel as it comes up. Thank you so much for tuning in. We do greatly appreciate it, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. Go out and try to do something fun. And until next time, stay curious, my friends.
There once was a kid whose passwords laid across all sites. They were the same, a criminal, then found their fame by taking that data to go. Soon may a criminal come to steal your pictures and data and run. One day when the crime is done, they'll steal your account.
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed that content. Keep the cybersecurity train going by connecting with the other Simply Cyber community resources. We have the Discord server that's lively and always keeps the conversation going. You can connect with me directly on LinkedIn. And also every single weekday morning on the Simply Cyber channel, we're doing live daily cyber threat briefings, 8 a.m. Eastern time, as well as Thursday at 4:30 p.m. We're doing live stream interviews with industry experts, and we produce videos that we push out every Wednesday morning. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. I hope you enjoyed the content, and we'll see you in the next one.